This is the Ask BP podcast, and today's question is, how do I get started in investing in real estate at a young age? Stay tuned.
You're listening to another BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast, where you'll hear short, direct answers to your biggest real estate questions. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forums by using hashtag AskBP. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing and other great content when you sign up for your free account at BiggerPockets.com. With that, let's get to the show.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? My name is Brandon, here with the Ask BP podcast. I'm actually recording this live, well, it's live for me anyway, here at Harvard. Is it University, College, something like that? I'm actually on a road trip around the country right now, and today's episode I'm in Harvard because I wanted to see what it looked like. So anyway, shout out to all the Harvard people listening to this. And your campus is beautiful. So let's get going. Today's question comes to us from Gary from California, and Gary asks, how can I get started in investing in real estate at 19 years old? And so today's lesson is going to be a little bit geared towards both 19-year-olds and if you're 20 or 21, 25, 29, 30, whatever. The idea of how do you invest at a young age, that's what I want to talk about today. So first of all, the first tip I'd give people who are young is watch your debt. Watch your debt very carefully. I know that's not an actionable tip for investing, but trust me, it'll come into play. I know a lot of people who want to invest in real estate, but they've got $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 in student loan debt. That's just killing their chances of being able to invest later on. So I would very much caution you to watch your debt. You can go to college. I actually recommend college, even though it's probably useless for your future in terms of education for getting a job, because you're probably going to do real estate. However, I still think it's wise to go to college. The lessons you learn, the growth you'll have, the networking you'll do, I think it's valuable. However, should you do that for $150,000 or $100,000? I wouldn't recommend it. And instead, I'd recommend work your way through college if you can. Go to community college if you have to. Find a lower priced college, get scholarships, study hard, do what you got to do to hustle your way through college to avoid debt as much as possible. Just very, very important. Try to avoid that debt. Now, unless you plan on being like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, you probably don't need necessarily to go to the highest end, most expensive school in the world. So first thing, manage your debt. Also, watch your credit. Be very careful. Don't go to, you go to the mall and they're like, hey, you can save 15% on your order today by signing up for this credit card. And you're like, hey, sure, I'll do that. It gets everybody. It got me as well. It's so stupid. It's like you save like $1.50 on your purchase, a pair of underwear, and then you destroy your credit. Just watch your credit. Yes, you need to worry about building your credit a little bit, but don't be stupid with your credit. Watch it, guard it like your career depends on it, because if you're going into real estate, it does. So with those things out of the way, let me go into some actionable tips for getting started with real estate. First of all, of course, one of my favorite techniques to talk about is the idea of house hacking. House hacking. It's the idea of living in a small multifamily property, like a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex, and you live in one unit and you rent the other ones out. Now, I really love this strategy because it helps you kind of be an investor with training wheels, right? So you're there, you're responsible for it, but you're there, so it's kind of not as difficult maybe as if you were living 50 miles away or 1,000 miles away. You're there, you can handle situations when they come up. If there's problems, you can take care of them. So house hacking is a very, very popular method for young people to get started. Of course, that requires you to be able to get a mortgage, and if you're 19, you might not have an easy ability to get a mortgage. I understand that. Maybe you don't have good enough income or good enough credit. Maybe you don't have any income. In that case, house hacking might be difficult. But here's a kind of a twist on that, something I did before I even knew that real estate was the avenue I wanted to get into. It's the idea of you could possibly even rent a 4-bedroom house. I mean, let me tell you my story, actually. So I rented a 4-bedroom apartment complex in Olympia, Washington, right out of college. I think I was 19 years old at the time. So I was kind of like in college, going to community college there in Olympia, Washington. And I rented a 4-bedroom apartment. Then I went and rented out each room to another person. And I ended up sleeping on the couch in the living room because, when you're young, you can do stuff like that. So I slept on the couch in the living room. I rented out the other units for $300 a piece. $300, $600, $900, $1,200 a month I was making. The entire rent for the apartment was like $850. So I was cash flowing already before I knew what the word cash flow meant. I wasn't in the real estate for like 2 more years from that. But it was a really good introduction to the world of how that works, how the cash flow works, and how to deal with people like tenants. So that's a very, very good method that you might want to look into doing. If you're in college, maybe looking to be an RA in your dorm or whatever to gain that experience is very, very valuable on being a landlord. So next, other tip I got for you, intern. If you can intern for a solid real estate investor in your area, like a landlord or a house flipper, whatever you want to get into, intern for them. Offer to help them out. I know there's a ton of ways that free intern can help out a landlord, and you will learn more than you'll learn in college. You'll learn so much about how to analyze deals and find them and market and get them ready and deal with contractors or whatever you got to do. So by the time you're ready to go, you'll be able to shoot off the line faster than anybody else. It's very, very, very valuable lessons you'll learn in that. So don't worry if you have to work for free or if you have to work for minimum wage. Who cares? It's not about making money right now. It's about learning and networking. If you do a good job too, there's a very good chance the guy you intern with may very well become a cash buyer for you someday, or will become a partner or a private money lender for you, or a hard money lender, or whatever. That network will be very, very, very important for you. I mean, I'm only 30 myself, and I already feel that way about people. Now, imagine older people, maybe in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They look back and they see you and they're like, man, I wish I would have started then. And they want to help you achieve what they didn't or they couldn't. And so, again, your age is such a valuable asset. Plus the fact that you have the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years of your life to grow wealth exponentially. Holy cow. I don't know if you understand the power of that, but exponential growth over 40 years, it's almost impossible for you not to become a millionaire someday. Like, as long as you don't screw this up and as long as you're diligent about doing it, man, you have such an amazing asset in your age. So run with that. That's awesome. That's a very, very cool thing. So let's get out of here. Today's success quote comes actually from a Swedish proverb that says this: God gives every bird a worm, but he does not throw it into the nest. I thought that was kind of cool. There's opportunities everywhere you look, but they're not always sitting right in front of you. You got to go out and get them. So go out and get them, and keep listening to the Ask BP podcast. I will see you around BiggerPockets. Jump in, hang out, and keep growing as a real estate investor. If you have any questions, you know where to find me on the BiggerPockets forums, biggerpockets.com/forums. I'll see you over there. For the Ask BP podcast, remember, in your pursuit of your goals and dreams, don't just learn, take action.
You've just heard another episode of the BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forum by using hashtag AskBP. And for more incredible real estate investing tools and education, including a free download of our book, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing, head over to BiggerPockets.com and sign up for your free account today. We'll see you on the next show.